Now back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, and we appreciate Scott Yake from Ducks Unlimited talking about that big award that he won at the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies, the highest honor they could win. And I know this next guest has won some high honors. She's come a long way since she was 12 years old and known as Holy Terra. And I got to explain that to her. Is that right, Randy Rogers? Was that your call name?
Yes, sir. That was my alias in the sport of cowboy action shooting, Miss Holy Terror.
And who gave you that name?
You know, nobody can really remember.
Oh,
but my
they can't remember.
Because
Come
I was a Holy
on.
Terror when I was 2.
I love it. Well, one of our favorite guests on Outdoors with Larry Ray is Randi Rogers out of Houston, Texas, and she has a real job. I know that with CompTech Victory Gear, and Guy Trebo is sitting in this morning as our co-host. Greg Ratliff is our show producer, and anytime I can hook up with Randy and talk careers, it's always one of the pleasures. Got a lot of fans up here, Randy, and I know you are the busiest young lady I know. I mean, between your regular job and I don't know how many rounds. We're going to get into some of these things. Randy, I know you've had a busy 2015. Kind of update my listeners on what's happened to you in 2015.
Well, in 2015, I get to work here at CompTech Victory Gear. I'm their sales and marketing manager. We make holsters and specialize in concealed carry equipment.
Always start with your real job. I know that now. I like that. You're right on target.
But in addition to that, I also am a competitive shooter.
Yes.
I'm part of Team Smith & Wesson, and so I get to travel around the country, and I compete in 4 different shooting sports all over the place anytime I can get away from my real job.
Anytime, and you've got away a couple of times this year. So tell our listeners what's happened in recent times for you.
Well, in the last couple of months, I've been very blessed.
Yes.
I've gotten to compete in some USPSA pistol shooting competitions.
Yeah.
And I've been beaten up on as many boys as I can get to. I've come in second twice.
Yes.
And I'm working really hard with my Smith & Wesson M&P Pro. I get to shoot the production division,
yes,
which is kind of your stock gun division.
And this all is kind of blows your mind. I know you still drive red cars.
Yes, sir. I always drive red cars.
Always drives red. My favorite color is red, and that's why I hook up with Randy here, because I'm big on red. And Randy's got that red car, and red stands for what?
Shoot fast and don't miss.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. So tell our listeners, Randy. I know we kind of casually mentioned it early, and Guy Treble's listening to this. He loves this and everything. But you got your start in cowboy action. So tell our listeners how that evolved to what you're doing now.
Well, it was just kind of an accident, really. I was raised by my grandparents, and they were competitive cowboy action shooters.
Evil Roy.
Yes, sir. Evil Roy and Wicked Felina.
Wicked Felina and Evil Roy. Okay, listeners, don't hang on to this, because there's more to it. Go, Randy.
So they were out practicing, and they didn't have a babysitter, and they weren't going to leave me at home alone, so they took me to the range and taught me how to shoot.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. And you were how old?
I was 12 when I very first started.
Now, the way I understand it, you didn't start really good on that first competition, right?
No, my first competition, I did about as bad as you could do. I came in dead last.
This is a girl that came in dead last in her first competition at 12. And you ended up winning, 12 titles in a row after that or something? I mean, you built up in cowboy action?
Absolutely, yes. I'm a 15-time class champion, and I'm a 10-time overall ladies champion.
That is amazing. And then all of a sudden, you're listening to all this, aren't you?
I think it would be great if she explains what cowboy action.
Yeah, maybe you ought to, because I know what it is. Tell our listeners what it is.
Absolutely. Cowboy action shooting is a competitive shooting sport, and in it is designed around the idea that we use firearms and we dress in clothing that was made before 1900. So it's a little bit like playing cowboys and Indians like you might have when you were a kid, except that you get to use real firearms and you get to shoot at still targets that ring when you hit them.
Wow. And then all of a sudden, what made you take this next step? I mean, you were so successful at what you were doing. How did you end up switching over?
Well, I haven't completely switched. I still get to do a little bit of everything. But when I was in college, I met some other shooters, and I was invited to start shooting some other shooting competitions, specifically the USPSA and IDPA, which use modern semi-automatic firearms.
Yes, yes. And I know over 40 world and national championships, 8 different shooting disciplines, and you've shot all over the world. And yet you're also I know this. This is your life, isn't it?
It has become a lifestyle, very much so. It started out as a hobby, but I just loved it so much. I was lucky enough to turn it into a job.
And that's where did you grow up?
Well, I was born and raised in Colorado in a little bitty town called Durango.
I love Durango. Okay. Now, so your grandparents raised you where? In Durango?
In Durango. Mm-hmm.
In Durango. Now, what did Randy Rogers want to do growing up?
All I wanted to do was shoot.
Really?
Yeah, I just enjoyed it so much. I loved the people. I loved learning about it, and I loved the competition side of it. It just got my blood going.
Well, and one thing about this, you've devoted your life to this. Now, I hate to ask a woman how old she is, but I'm 72, so it doesn't bother me. You can't offend me. How old are you, Randy?
I'm 28 years old.
Wow. That's pretty amazing what you've done. Do you feel like a veteran?
I do feel like an old lady because there are so many great junior shooters out there.
I did not mean to say old lady. I said veteran. Don't take me now. Here, all right, listeners, don't start sending anything to me. I did not call Randy an old lady. All right, I said a veteran. But now you've done it for 16 years then, since you were 12. So what's the goals out there as you look at 2016? What's Randy Rogers looking at?
Wow, Larry, that's a good question. I've been really excited with my job here at ComTac.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing a lot of work lately, and so we're working really hard to create some new holsters, especially for ladies for concealed carry, so I've got that going.
Yeah.
And then in the shooting, I've been dabbling in 3-gun. I've really been enjoying that, so I want to do more of that so I can get better.
Well, tell us a little bit of what's going on at I couldn't get away without talking to you, Randy, about ComTac Victory Gear. What's going on? Because I know you got some new holster fits and some spare bodies for the Springfield Mod, 2 firearms. What's going on at your work?
Well, right now things with the firearms industry and concealed carry are really hot in the news. And so there's been a lot of discussion going on. A lot of states are moving to open carry.
Uh-huh.
And so ComTac's come out with a level 2 holster that has a thumb brake especially for that.
Uh-huh.
And then we've also designed several new concealed carry holsters that have more options to adjust the cant. So if you like to carry your holster at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, you now have the option to switch it around to make it perfect for you.
Does she not know her business here? She's running off the clock here on me. At 2, 4, 6, I'm thinking of Dr. Pepper, some of these things. But and we're talking to Randy Rogers here of ComTac Victory Gear, but also that an amazing person with marksmanship and everything. I had somebody ask me the other day, I was at an event, and a young lady came up. Now, we have a wonderful shooting facility here in Memphis, the Memphis Sports Shooting Association range. It's top-notch. And this young lady said, I'd really like to get in. I've been following some of these ladies' careers, not only maybe Kim Rhodey with a shotgun, maybe Katuna Lorig with the bow, and she said, I've heard about this Randy girl. And she did. This is serious. And she said, how do I get into that? So let's give some Randy Rogers tips here on maybe a young lady that would like to get involved in this sport.
Oh, absolutely. So many ranges these days, they have different events that they hold, shooting matches at the ranges. So I think contacting your local range staff is always a great place to start and let them know, hey, I want to get into competitive shooting, and they can help you. They might even have an event that you can attend. There's so many ranges do.
There are. All right, now, Guy, you've been listening to this veteran of 28 years old talking about what question would you like to ask Randy Rogers? The guy is always when this guy, he's intellect over here thinking.
I wasn't ready for that.
You weren't ready for that?
I'm just taking it all in.
Is it not amazing?
Yeah, well, as you know, I do the website.
Yes, yes.
And we have Randi on all the time.
Yeah, we do. Right on the
On the
homepage of Randy's visit on today's show, we got a picture of her. She's got those protective glasses on, and I bet you want to guess how many rounds of ammunition Randi will shoot in a year?
1 million.
Not quite, I wish.
How many, Randi?
It's normally somewhere between 30 and 50,000.
30 and 50,000, guy. 30 and 50,000. And that's and your favorite weapon? Excuse me, your favorite firearm? That's not a word I use. Your favorite firearm is?
Oh, gosh, that's a tough choice. It would either have to be my M&P pistol or my M&P rifle. Those two are kind of tied right now.
She got tied, and she gets a chance to do this and everything. So your next competition, what you got next coming up here?
Well, my next competition will be the 1st of November. I'm going up to Springfield, Massachusetts, and I'm going to shoot the IDPA Backup Gun Nationals.
Wow, in Springfield, Massachusetts. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Be careful up there. Those are different people from Texas now, okay?
I will.
Guard yourself. Randi, thank you again. Always great to talk to you on Outdoors with Larry Ray, one of our favorite visitors. And we know how to find you. You know how to find us. And tell them how they can get to be a Facebook friend for you.
Oh, absolutely. You can look me up at Facebook. I'm Randi with an I, Rogers with only a G, or you can check out my website at randyrogersshooting.com.
That's it. Thank you, Randi. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you, girl, okay?
Thank you, Larry.
I didn't mean to make you sound old. I'm sorry. All right? All right. All right. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray and come right back and talk about a big event that's coming up in Memphis. I don't think Guy's competing in it, but I'll ask him if he's going to be in it. He's laughing over there.
I am not going to be in it.
Guy is not going to be in it. I'm not going to be in it. Greg
I'm
Ratliff
there, I'm
is not going to. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray, ESPN 790.